Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Bradley, and I will be your moderator. Thank you for joining us today for this episode of our Sydney Enterprise in Real Life webinar series, Ease of Use, Write Once, Read Many, Single Venue. Before we start, I would like to provide some information about our company and introduce today's presenter. Lucidea is a software developing company specialized in museum and archival collections management solutions, as well as knowledge management and library automation systems. Our brands include Sydney, Presto, Argus, Archivera, Eloquent, and Quadrastar. Now, I would like to introduce today's presenter, Jeremiah Saunders. Jeremiah is a special projects librarian here at Lucidea, and he will be giving us an in-depth look at Sydney Enterprise. Take it away, Jeremiah.
A database without content in it is like an empty vault, worthless. So how are we going to bring in our valuable data? Of course, we can manually add records one at a time, but we can also use the built-in import-export tool without needing to involve IT. First, we need to create a map that allows us to import data and files, such as PDFs and images, directly into our collection. While we can import many different formats, such as CSV, XML, and MARC, let's assume we have some spreadsheets. Here we are selecting the fields we created only a few seconds ago when we designed the database. If our spreadsheet has additional columns of data and we have no existing field, we can easily create more fields. We simply copy the name from the header or the first row in our spreadsheet that identifies the data in that column, and map it to a field, often with the same name, but that is not required. A reminder, we can use this spreadsheet to import not only data, but files we want to attach to records, such as PDFs and images, by putting the name of these files in a column and matching them to the attachment field in our database. By selecting one of the fields to be used as a unique identifier, we can match on existing records if we want to perform additional imports to update our collection, while preventing duplicates. All that is left for us to do now is back up the database and perform the import. We navigate to our collection in SydneyEnterprise, click Import, and browse for the file or drag and drop it onto the screen. Once we've imported our spreadsheet, we have cataloged our new collection. Or have we finished? Perhaps as our organization changes, new ideas and inventions change us. So we may find ourselves having to update our collection over time. For example, we may want to add some new subject headings, which we can do with a batch update or search and replace by selecting the fields to be modified and specifying the operation, adding subjects, removing data from a field, and so on. Our batch update will allow us to make a change across multiple records with minimal effort and time. Imagine you've been tasked with adding 5 records today, 10 tomorrow, and so on. Unfortunately, there is no existing CSV file or MARC file to import in to save time. If cataloging 5 or 10 records seems manageable to you, then let's make it more. How long would it take you to add 50 or 100 records with original cataloging? What if you only had one staff person available for that cataloging? What if your organization needs all of these records indexed by tomorrow? With the SydneyEnterprise Rapid Data Entry tool, you can create multiple records composed of shared data and varied data. The Rapid Data Entry form is configurable. You choose the fields you want to use for cataloging, and whether the same value is used by multiple records or if the value varies from record to record. The common fields are any fields where you want to use the same entry across multiple records without having to enter it in over and over again. For example, we are going to create 5 new records, but all of them will have the same value for patent type and applicant, so we only enter this once. The record fields are any fields where the value may differ from record to record, so we will enter them as needed. For example, on each row, we can enter in the title, filing date, etc., which describes that given record. Note how the data entry still supports dropdowns for quick, consistent data entry and authorities to ensure staff select the correct value from a list. Once we are finished, we can click Save to create all these records, but also save us a significant amount of time. With rapid data entry, we did not have to create each record through a separate workflow, but instead, we accomplished a lot more in less time. If we are adding titles to our collection that have already been cataloged by other libraries, then we can use E39 to import MARC records, or import a batch file that we already have on our machine into SydneyEnterprise. You can search any target or across several libraries, select one or more records to import, and then click Import. We can preview the record to see the quality of cataloging, and a configurable map allows us to import all of the record or only what we want. Our implementation team will help set this map up, but you can change it at any time to import as much or as little of a record as desired. If you already have the MARC file on your computer, then you can simply drag it onto the screen to import it in, or open it up to select specific records to be imported. If we want to work with a single record in SydneyEnterprise, we can navigate to the appropriate template and click Add or Edit. Every client's collection is unique, so our implementation team will create the fields you want for your library. Even after you finish an implementation, you can ask our support team to add or remove fields. So you always have the template you want to manage any collection now and in the future. There are drop-downs for consistent data entry, such as material type and language, a built-in link checker to make sure that the URL or website is always working when someone clicks on it, and authority control to ensure no duplicates, and allow us to search and select entries with ease. Typing in a partial entry will autocomplete if there is only one match in the authority. After finishing with our bibliographic record, we can click the Inventory tab to describe the copies of a book or volume issues of a journal. Our item-level records are described here, with location, call number, and barcodes, if applicable. SydneyEnterprise has a barcode generator if you want us to create any alphanumeric pattern or print to any symbology, which means you only have to provide blank labels to barcode your collection. SydneyEnterprise gives clients the choice of cataloging in non-MARC or full MARC. By non-MARC, we mean that a client catalogs using fields like title, author, and subject, without requiring knowledge of MARC tags, indicators, or subfields. For clients who prefer to catalog using MARC, staff will see a screen with the tags, indicators, and subfields, as well as a tab showing a read-only output of the entire record and the leader and control fields. Generally, the only difference between the non-MARC and full MARC versions of SydneyEnterprise is what the cataloger sees when adding or editing records. Both versions allow you to import MARC. But there are some differences when exporting, performing a batch update, and managing authorities, so please ask for a demonstration before deciding to implement a non-MARC or full MARC version of SydneyEnterprise if you are considering full MARC. SydneyEnterprise has default reports that are customized for you during implementation, since each library has different reporting requirements. You can create additional reports using a built-in tool called Report Writer, which prints to a PDF or exports data to a CSV file, meaning you can export the data to a spreadsheet. Report Writer is for simple reports only. By simple, we mean that you select some fields to print or export, and that's it. If you want more sophisticated reports with formatting, graphs, charts, etc., then you have to turn to us, your vendor, as we use Crystal reports. We can build custom reports for you depending on the time available in the implementation. Here we are creating a new report using Report Writer by selecting PDF or CSV, giving the report a name, and selecting the fields to print or export. We can print the report by navigating to the appropriate template in the menu, performing a search, and clicking Print. Any custom or default reports will be shown here, such as printing labels, along with any reports a client creates through Report Writer. After running the report, a PDF is generated, or a CSV file is downloaded, which we can open in a spreadsheet.
Thank you, Jeremiah, for the wonderful presentation. And to our audience, if you have any questions on any of our software or our company, our contact details are listed on the screen. Please feel free to reach out and stay tuned for more webinars and content related to the series on Sydney Enterprise. On behalf of the Lucidea team, I thank you all for attending today, and until next time, thanks.